Tax time doesn't have to be stressful. You want to know what it feels like to be stress free? Call the professionals at SJC Financial Solutions. We can provide you with professional and experienced staff, electronic filing, individual and business tax returns. We provide bookkeeping, payroll, IRS collection representation. You can reach us at 800-542-1393, or you can log on to www.yourtaxremedy.com. That is yourtaxremedy.com. We are an authorized e-file provider, and we are IRS enrolled agents. Again, tax time doesn't have to be stressful. Know what it's like to be stress-free. Call SJC Financial Solutions. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount.
Hey folks, I am the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder. You're on the Wrath of Ruthless. You might notice that I'm in a super calm mood today. I don't seem to be on the edge of shouting about anything. And we may do a little shouting, both of us, me and my personal guest here today. But this is a relaxed day. This is a happy day. It's a good time. 4 years of Words Don't Do It Justice in one form or another. Obviously, we shut down the blog to become our all podcast everything focus. But yeah, man, March 4th, you're of course listening to this most likely after the anniversary itself. But like I said, it's important to celebrate throughout the week. So yeah, it's been 4 years. Uh, we started just kind of on a desire to get a different perspective out there, and turned into a very successful blog and a becoming more and more successful podcast. Uh, some days I miss the blog, some days I don't. But, hey, there's a lot of good things here. So I wanted to bring on today's guest specifically because he's done stuff for both the blog and for the podcast. And so I wanted to kind of, just have a nice, relaxing conversation with him. I know you guys enjoy when we have these kind of longer conversation-based shows. So without further ado, Justin, how you doing, brother?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Man, for, it's one of those days, man. I had to go to the dentist this morning.
Ooh, that had to be rough.
Well, it was fine. Like that dentist office is really cool, but my insurance company left them on hold, presumably indefinitely. Like they have still not called me back to say, "Hey, here's what your insurance company is going to want to do about this tooth situation." But like, dude, literally, I was there at 9 o'clock, and at 10:30, still no word from the insurance company.
So were you just sitting there in the chair with your mouth open?
No, like they brought me back there. They did the look at the tooth because I have apparently accidentally chipped something off on like the back side there.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, we'll get this all done. Here's what we're gonna suggest the insurance company. Go ahead, just pay for the little $19 appointment fee, and then if that ends up getting covered by the insurance, we'll put it towards the your copay on the rest of the stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it was just so annoying. It's like, guys, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the dentist office. How are you not answering the phone? Like
don't you all work or something?
Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, so I may have to deal with not being able to talk properly for a few days. There may be a really thrillific podcast here for a few times.
You never know. People may end up liking that voice. You never know.
Let's hope not.
I agree. Let's hope not.
Oh man, no. But I wanted to, have you on, man. For the folks that don't know uh, uh, about your contributing to the Words Don't Do It Justice / Weekends Don't Do It Justice stuff. Just go back and talk a little bit about the story series you did back then.
Sure. So yeah, I write in my spare time for fun. I'm going to be producing one of my first works this year, but your blog was actually an awesome setup. I decided to, after speaking with you, decided to come on and just share one of my stories. It was a story about King Arthur being born and basically being reincarnated in modern times. And so I posted a couple chapters of that, and people seem to like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, folks didn't know it was you. The funny thing was, we brought you on for the podcast and didn't even really like address it at all. We just kind of reintroduced you entirely.
Yeah.
And so, it's because, of course, you were writing under the pen name back then. And
Yes, I would.
It's one of those things. I know you're taking that now and doing a whole new project with that. How's that going? Compared to the one you were working on.
It's going really, really good. This one is going to be in screenplay format, so it's a little bit different. For those writers out there that listen to the blog, you know what I'm talking about. It is definitely a different vibe. I'm sure you know Ruthless.
Oh yeah.
It's a definitely different vibe. So getting used to that, it's different. But the new project's kind of in the same sort of realm. It's kind of fantasy, high sci-fi. It'll be interesting when it comes out.
Yeah, high sci-fi is really getting a whole new. I wouldn't say new audience. It's getting a whole new look from its old audience. And that kind of actually. How do you feel about this more action-focused sci-fi that we've been getting here lately?
I don't really know. It's not like your traditional Gene Roddenberry or like back in the day when you had like what is his name? Oh, he wrote like The Laws of Robotics. I can't remember his name. But from that era, it's just completely different now. It appeals to an audience where nowadays a lot of people are more into instant gratification. They get most of their media sources from TV and video and of course the internet, like YouTube and stuff. So with the times changing, of course that's changed. So I kind of like it, but people like my dad that are old heads, they despise it. So it is what it is.
I guess I don't despise it so much as how to put this. I wish there was more to it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I agree.
Did you ever see Ex Machina, the movie Ex Machina?
Yes, I did. I love that movie.
Okay, you know how like there is action in the film, but a lot of that is a very heady conversation about consciousness. Like it's presented in a certain way, it's presented dramatically, but it's not anti-intellectual. It's extremely intellectual. It just happens to have some action beats because a movie like that needs a couple action beats.
It does, because your brain needs a break. I mean, for those of you listening that have seen that movie, you know what we're talking about. You need breaks, like mental breaks from the seriously introspective conversations this robot and her creator are like having. It's completely ridiculous.
And then even the idea that he seems to be Turing testing the robot, but really it's not that. It's the robot is testing him essentially. Like this entire like Oscar Isaac's character really messing with this dude's notion of his own humanity and his own usefulness. It's like it's such a great film that way. It's
such a good film. Yeah, no, I agree. And I love how she kind of questions, she notices that he's attracted to her. So like she plays with that whole thing of, yes, you're attracted to me, but I'm also not a real person. Yeah. But I have all the qualities of a real person. So it's just she figured out a really not positive, but a really interesting way of making that dynamic work.
Yeah, and just when you think you know what's going on, you find out you have no idea what's been going on.
We're all dumb the whole movie.
Like the movie doesn't keep you dumb on purpose. It just knows that you're not looking for the answer, so you're going to be dumb by the time it gives you the answer. And I was just like, oh, that's fucking smart. I like that. Like I really like that about that movie. Oh,
I love that it was and it just left you. The movie left you with this sense of like, well, what's gonna happen now? like it's just guessing what's gonna happen. And it's an awesome movie. They did a fantastic job with the implementation for sure.
Well, yeah, because I guess all of the money they spent was literally just on her.
I mean, look at her. She's so convincing. Like, I hate saying that because it is a movie, but it's like, wow. Like, you look at the intricacy of how she looks and like how parts of her skin are see-through and stuff. It's just they did a phenomenal job with the way that she looks and the character development and other things in the movie.
I was talking to somebody and they were saying like they picked the perfect parts of her to not have quote skin on to make her seem to make her seem extremely human and vulnerable while being very clearly robotic.
Yeah, which I like. And it's still, even though you can see those translucent portions, you still question if this is a real person at certain parts of the movie, just in how she interacts and how she does things. So yeah, I agree. It was perfect. The execution was flawless.
I liken it a little bit, not necessarily the entire theme of the movie and the way they execute, but I liken a lot of it to Splice. Was it Splice?
Oh yeah.
Was Splice the one with Adrian Brody?
I think it's Splice. I'd have to look.
But you know who I'm talking. You know which one I'm talking about. Like Dren, the quote monster child thingy in that movie is sort of set the same way. Like all of the parts of Dren that are monstrous are really subtly around this human vulnerability that you don't normally get out of those kinds of characters. And the same thing kind of happens in Ex Machina, and it really ends up working out, man. Like I don't know. I like really heady sci-fi like that. Like you can get deep into some philosophy with some sci-fi, and I'm really into it. It like Gattaca is one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and that is hardcore bio-fi. We are going to talk for this whole movie.
Yeah.
That entire movie is just like go back and watch it. It's a series of conversations.
It really is. It's sort of like Dune. Like if for those sci-fi heads that like, it's just like Dune, where what makes it is not even really the action scenes or the transitional scenes. It's all the conversations is what makes it. So I completely agree. Gattaca's like that for sure.
Yeah, man. Like I said, Gattaca's one of my favorites. It was the first time I didn't know who Jude Law was like before Gattaca. Well, because remember I'm a kid when Gattaca comes out. Like I am a child at that point. But I didn't know who Jude Law was, and I really didn't know who Ethan Hawke was either, because at that point I haven't really seen the other stuff he'd been in, because age-wise it wasn't something I was looking for anyway. And so I remember watching that movie, not even in theaters. I watched it on HBO, and being like mentally blown away, in like the same way I was first blown away the first time I read The Art of War.
Oh yeah, for sure. I completely agree.
It was one of those things like it was the first time I realized that like movies have the story you're watching and something going on in the background that you don't notice the first time you watch them.
And then it blows your mind when you watch it a second time because you pick up everything you missed. And for me, a movie that was like that was Blade Runner.
Oh yeah.
Just a cult classic, based on the book of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yep. And
it's just it puts something in your head that goes, hey, you missed this the last time that you watched this. And it blows your mind. I mean, I still remember, it actually wasn't even until last year. A friend pointed out, if you watch the very last scene, his eyes are red. And I never noticed that.
Depends on the version.
Decker's eyes are red at the very end, which leads you to believe, hey, is he normal or was this all... It
depends on which version you watch, because they changed it. What is it? The proper director's cut? Like the real director's cut is has his eyes red, but then one of the collector's editions doesn't. The theatrical doesn't, and I forgot what the other one was. But that's another one of those movies that is extremely heady that happens to have action in it.
Exactly, but it's awesome. Like I love the conversation. But when you do finally get the scenes of action, like for instance when he's running after that one chick that's wearing like the jacket and he shoots her, that was completely called for. It was awesome. Like it was perfect. The timing, pacing was so. But that was Harrison Ford in his like glory days. You know what I'm saying? Like people talk about like Blade Runner, and then what else? What other movies Harrison Ford known for that everybody loves?
Well, it's Indiana Jones, and it's funny that.
Of course.
But that's the thing. Like Harrison Ford, that era of Harrison Ford, like the Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Blade Runner, like those three characters are so almost hilariously perfect for Harrison Ford as a person. Like those are the three parts of his personality, like very clearly, and they are the three true cinematic archetypes. Like the wisecracking, almost loose cannon side character, the brash, bold, smarter than the rest of the room adventurer Indiana Jones, and then this like my God, like I will hate Ridley Scott for making Exodus Gods and Kings for the rest of my life, but damn it, fucking Deckard, like Deckard is perfection. That is Humphrey Bogart's character from Casablanca and Maltese Falcon dropped into like cyberpunk film noir perfectly. Perfectly.
I
I,
agree. It was a perfect execution.
I
I agree.
you're never gonna like listen. I cannot wait to see this Blade Runner 2049 movie. It is my most anticipated film for 2017. But you're never going to get that first moment you watched Blade Runner and realized, holy shit, we can make movies like this. Like
Exactly. And for the era, it's like, remember when that movie came out?
that should be
So it's like,
impossible. It should be entirely impossible.
yeah, like how did they even do that? Like,
Sean
and that
Young wasn't batshit crazy on a set. How is
yeah.
this possible? Oh man.
It's one of those movies that it's sad. Everybody's got those sets of movies that like you own 6 versions of the same damn movie, but because they re-release it with some hidden special feature, it gets you to come out your $20 or $30 again every single time. And for me, Blade Runner is one of those, as well as Indiana Jones. Every single Indiana Jones, except that last one with Shia LaBeouf. I don't know what that was.
No, there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
The last one has Sean Connery in it. You gotta have the Last Crusade. It's the Last Crusade. It's the last Indiana Jones movie. It's great.
It is. It's awesome. It's fantastic.
Oh man. The funny thing is, like, I even right now, my eyes are wide open. I'm staring at the screen, and like in the back of my head, I am literally like playing through all of the Last Crusade. I love that movie. I actually think it's the best of the 3 Indiana Jones movies.
I think so. I think it is too, and it's just like even the stories that you hear about like when they were filming it, about like injuries, and then during the first Indiana Jones movie, didn't he have like stomach poisoning or the flu or something, and that's why he shot the guy, was because he could not move?
So what happened is somehow he got a stomach virus and had like crazy diarrhea.
Okay.
Like the entire 2 days before they shoot that scene. And they basically like waited 2 days to shoot the scene because he was sick. Well, he's still not fully better, and they got to get this shot done so they can get on and get out of there and go to the next set of scenes they want to shoot. So he goes and says, "Yo, I got a better idea. Like, I'm just gonna pull this gun out and shoot him."
Oh,
but
God.
apparently they had this like 2-minute long fight scene with like sword fighting, and he was gonna use the whip, and like it would have been like the greatest action scene in a movie to date at that point. And they finally decided, like, listen, I'm sick, I can't do this. Bang! Like, and it perfectly encapsulates, like, that's his, Han shot first moment. Like that's that moment for Indiana Jones. Like you realize truly how badass Indiana Jones is in that moment, and it almost never happened.
Yeah, it just never. Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, no. If we're gonna talk movies forever, like listen, folks, we could talk movies forever. Like he and I watch enough movies, we could talk movies the whole time. Oh man, no, I like heady writing. Obviously there's the Darkland series I'm working on. We did the reason why he brought up the screenplays earlier is I finally finished a screenplay.
Yes, he did.
A couple months ago. that has been taking a while. We'll put it that way. There's a lot going on with that thing. But it's it's one of those things, man. I just like I'm unapologetically intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
I like listening to really heady music. Stuff that's really going to give me something to challenge what I normally listen to. What in the hell? Oh. I also like, really heady films. And then I kind of overran as a kid. Like, there's a ton of stuff that was definitely ahead of my age range that I picked up, at a very early age. And look, we're not going to talk about the Cheeto tonight because that'll just get me angry and ragey for no reason.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of just talk about, a little bit of reflection here, talk about the old days. So
Mhm.
obviously, you're one of those people who has known me for some time, and you were there to listen to me ranting and raving about the hate mail that we used to get back in the day.
Oh yes.
Um, when you think about, the old site, is there ever a particular article where you went, oh damn it, man, like
Yeah,
they're gonna be coming?
there was one, I forget who posted it, but it was one on like the social injustices that like blacks face. It was one of the weirdest topic, and I remember seeing it, and this was years ago, and I remember seeing it and being at work, and all I said was, "Oh shit!" Like that was like the only thing I said. It was like, oh my god! I was like, you were gonna get some angry Caucasian person just ready to murder. Like, oh man, my boss walked by, and she was like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" I said, "Oh, nothing." Like minimize the screen, but like it was that topic, and then it had to be somebody was talking about something else one time. I think it was about the riots or something that had happened, and it was one of those two that had me just shaking my head. I was like, wow. Like that's interesting.
See, see, and oh man, like those were such just normal days. Because one of those was probably that's probably Rain's letter series, Dear White People.
Yes,
Um,
it was definitely. I didn't want to say nothing, but it was definitely
oh
rain.
no, like the funny thing is, and she'll tell you this, she didn't get people angry at her until she started directly insulting men and calling them pussies.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I'm.
the
Oh,
the white people didn't come for her for the letter series. It was extremely popular. Both the Dear White People and the Dear Black People letter series were extremely popular. But she, for some
didn't
reason,
Rain write the one article about black people? Please don't use Kool-Aid or something like that. I don't know if it was her or it was somebody else, but it was like, do not braise your chicken wings in Kool-Aid. I forget. I think it was Rain that did it, but it was somebody that did it that I saw, and I can't remember. It was so funny though, and I was like, wow.
I don't remember who did that one. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember who did that.
Yeah, and I can't remember who did it, but it's hilarious. And that had me like,
Because I
what?
know it
Like,
wasn't. The funny thing is, like, the only thing I know is that it wasn't one of mine, and I was just like, who did this? Because I know it wasn't me.
it wasn't you, it wasn't me. I forget, but it was funny. But yes, her hating men was definitely a very real topic she did enjoy discussing quite often.
Well, and that was the thing. Like, she and I kind of realized no one's gonna come and no one's gonna come in an angry fashion to her stuff for the stuff that she normally did because and I'm even guilty of this too. For all of the outlandish things that she and I say from time to time, a lot of people agree with it. And it's a much more reasonable position to have than the radical folks that come into things usually do. Uh oh, here it is. Oh, it was her letter to Coons, Hotep's self-hating
Yes,
Negroes and so-called woke folks. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I love that one. Oh my god.
Oh, that one was hilarious.
But yeah, no, like she and I have the same problem. Like the majority of people think like us, but the majority of people aren't who normally get a lot of attention. It's the extremely vocal, extremely, annoying, you know, uh, ends of the pendulum. And so that's what essentially ended up happening. you know, every time it's like she's got to come after somebody who's gonna immediately feel entitled to respond, or else she wouldn't get any responses, and that's what ended up happening. Oh, it was beautiful too.
Yeah, it was just some mornings I wake up and I would just look and be like, we gonna piss somebody off today.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna be real mad today. I've said that a couple times.
Yeah, I mean that was to say that wasn't part of the goal. Some days it would be lying. Like some days
Oh
it
yeah.
was, all right, who can I piss off with this post today? Like I got all Monday. Let's see what we can do here.
God. And just some days I would just shake my head like, okay, well, I guess this is what's gonna happen today. Like, I guess the gatekeeper is not caring today. Okay.
Well, and the folks that don't know Worse Don't Do It Justice well, but the ones that are old school super fans, they know. But some of the folks that came towards the end, the folks that have come on the podcast, they understand. I never stopped anybody from writing anything.
Oh
in
no.
fact, especially if I disagreed with them, I want to make sure what you have to say is out there. Because when I mock you in my post the next week, you'll know, like, I gave you a fair chance.
No, God.
Because Rufus came out, and I forgot what he said, but Rufus came out and fully joined the tinfoil hats, and that's my guy. Like we are friends to this day. He lives out in Vegas, where somebody moved from for some reason.
Yes, somebody.
uh, but he's my guy. But he hopped out the window on this one piece, and I was like, what? Hold on, what? Bro.
You're like, did you proofread? Did you use Grammarly?
But he was serious. He was entirely serious. He was like, there's no way in hell I'm just gonna let this slide. People are looking at me going like, there's no way in hell Matt's gonna let this slide. I know. I hope I wasn't. Don't worry.
But it's just like, and just to let you all know, Ruthless is for sure a tyrant. Like, do not let the Ruthless want to fool you. If you work for him, you better be done by the deadline. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, and that was the thing. It was like, I'm a tyrant, yes, but I'm also entirely fair about this. If you don't have something ready because you've got something going on, all you gotta do is tell me. I told you that. I would tell all the writers that. And there are some people who were like, yeah, I want to write. I was like, all right, I'll get you together. All you need to do is give me your bio so we can do an introduction post so that the week before your post goes up, we can introduce you to the audience. And we did that for everybody. We gave everybody, hey, this is who this new person is. They're going to be coming with something next week, but here's just a little quick bit about them. And I would introduce them with an intro and make sure we went out on the day I was doing stuff to make sure that they had an audience. I would always put them on the day with me or come out on the same day they would. And then you would have these people like, yeah, I want to write. And then they wouldn't write anything.
And then you're like, what are you doing? Like, or people, because so you all couldn't see behind the scenes, but of course, so Ruthless here would sit there and send out a message, hey, my people, you need to make sure that your stuff's in or whatever. And people be like, oh yeah, I'll have it done. And then come the deadline, I would have written something, Rain would be done, I'd be done. We'd all be like, well, where's everybody else's? And they'd be gone. And we'd be like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you also stayed on top of people though.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, here at this date, and then just entirely say nothing to you. Like, yo, hey, don't forget doing this, have it for this date, so I can do the editing, get it up, and blah blah blah. And we're gonna start you here. I always try to give people a chance to kind of keep them going. But that was, I mean, that's, you got to have some of your own motivation. That's always kind of my thing.
But yeah, you still got to work. I mean, it's not, writing's fun and I enjoy doing it, but just as you with your projects and me with mine, I mean, you have to tunnel at it. It's not something, you got to work. It's just, it doesn't write, the words don't come down on the page themselves, Yeah. You got to put them down.
Yeah. That's really what it is.
I mean,
man.
Yeah.
So we, and yeah, so I think people thought because we were putting, people out on their own, giving folks their own days, make sure we supported their stuff on all the social media. I think because of that, they thought, okay, well, that just means everybody agrees with each other on the site. It's like, no, Actually,
No,
there
not at
was
all.
there was
Not at
a
all.
big difference between certain people. You had like Bambi who came on from Safety Society now, but like Bambi who would come on and do certain stuff about gaming and Gamergate, and Raymond would be like, "Yeah, no, I don't agree with that at all." Like,
Yeah.
like have a serious, like philosophically, opposed situation going on between the two of them, or like Rufus and Realistic Royalty, they may be on two different sides of an issue, and it's like,
Oh,
yeah, one of you's in the medical profession, the other one's in the legal profession. You're gonna have different ideas on the subject, but that's just what it was. That was just life. That's what made things work.
it did work, but at the same time, there would be days though people would post stuff, and you would just be like, "What the hell?" Like you
Yeah,
would be like, "What? It doesn't even make sense." Like what?
yeah, because that's just what it is, man. Like, I I'm trying to how to say it. I feel like I, I always feel like when you are presenting people's ideas, every once in a while you're gonna get hit with one that comes so far out of left field to you because of the way you believe. Like whatever it is your beliefs are on whatever subject it is, you're always gonna run across that one thought, and from someone else that's just like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
And it always hits you at the most inopportune
Oh yeah,
moments. Like you be drinking coffee or something first thing in the morning, and then you read it, you spit it out, you just wasted all that glorious coffee because you don't agree with.
notice he said glorious coffee. I hate coffee.
How would you drink tea? Would you
Yes,
drink
I
tea
drink
now,
tea.
man? Yo,
I've
tea is just pompous water.
I have always drank tea. I don't know where this
Would
like
you drink the finest of leaves? What the
yes. Like I worked for a company out of China. I have had like the greatest tea on the planet. Like there is like come on.
tea is just pompous water. Real adults drink coffee.
No, no they don't. No they don't. One, real adults drink some kind of juice in the morning because otherwise his blood sugar falls to the floor and then
Shoot.
later in the day when he needs to recharge, he drinks tea like an adult.
Okay. Okay. Do you
Uh,
also have? Do you also drink your fancy tea leaves out of your fancy china?
no, what? Like I'm not. Tea is literally a drink to me. Like it's not the same. Like I can't even say alcohol because there's times where I don't even get fancy with the alcohol.
No, you
Just
don't.
just give
I
me a
can vouch for
glass and
that.
some ice,
It's not
and
fancy.
not even has to be a glass. Sometimes it's a cup and some ice. Like
Yeah,
chill, we're good. I may
so
drink
true.
pretentious alcohol, but I don't drink it pretentiously.
Yes, you
Oh
you don't
man.
pinky out.
Oh man. And that's one of those things, I think people also think because because of the way I obviously my voice, which has murdered its Midwestern accent on purpose, uh, and the way I write, people assume a lot of things about me in a social setting. You know full well how I am when we get away from all this shit.
Oh yes, and let me
Oh,
tell you, it's crazy, absolutely absurd. But yes, I am
hey,
aware.
work hard, play harder. That's how that works.
Exactly. Even though I was living in Vegas, I never once met Rufus in person.
Yeah, both times that we were out there. No, I guess the first time he wasn't there yet.
No, he hadn't arrived yet.
That's
Yeah,
right,
the
he
first
hadn't got here.
time.
But the second time, like I say, second time, it's the same fucking year. Like
Yeah, it was
it was
like
just a few months later. But no, like I don't know what happened, dude. Because I definitely messaged him like, "Hey, don't forget to hit me up. We're gonna be there in a few days. We're gonna be kicking it, doing stuff. Like, hit me up and let's go hang out." And he just never hit me back. So I don't know what's going on. He could have been busy. I know, with his profession, man. I know it gets busy. So,
Yeah, I think he was just busy, man. Next time for sure. I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Vegas is nice. Don't ever move there, people. Don't ever move there. Go visit. Play on the strip. Don't live there.
oh man, yeah, go visit. Call me if you're gonna go visit. I have some great places for you to go to while you're there.
Oh, yes.
Oh man. See, you didn't get to come with us to that badass secret bar there. That shit was awesome. The launch,
So you all actually went.
yeah.
Oh man,
The
how was
launch was
it?
amazing, dude. Like we have photos. We got to keep the menus because we had everybody sign it. So not only did we get the monkey that played the piano to sign, but we also had the bartender and the host to sign. So like each one of us has separate messages from each of them.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's in the video. That's why I like ended the video with the signature from Benny Bonobo because why not? Folks, if you're wondering what the video is, we may throw that up on YouTube. Who knows? It probably will get copyright stricken, so I'll have to do it not
I'll give
monetized.
you 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes.
But no, whenever I go on vacations, I like to, make a video of the vacation. Since I had done Vegas twice, and basically all of my trips had members of the crew with me, I decided to just do one big 2016 video set to 24 Karat Magic because fuck it, why not?
That was the song of champions for both that trip. That's all that kept. I remember we were in the car, and that's all we kept playing to get hype. I'm sitting there going, Bruno Mars has more music than 24 Karat, dog.
Yeah, but it was the perfect get hype to go out song.
It was like, it was just, I'm like, I don't have a Jerry curl large enough for this.
Oh, and then you went with us for that crazy ass night at trying to get to the after hours at Drace. Fucking hell, man.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was insane, bro.
The line was all right. So this line is like down through the casino long already.
Oh.
And we're like, we can get in. And the guy's like, well, if you're not on this list, which was basically the VIP list, if you're not on this list and you're on the regular list, we can get you in, but it's gonna be like an hour or two.
Oh yeah, that's
an
rough.
hour
That's
or two, bruh.
I like how it was hour or two. Like,
because what he's really telling me is like, yo, if you're not on this VIP list, you might have to drop some money to get in this bad boy. And I'm just like, I'm thinking like, all right, this is Vegas. He's gonna hit me with some like, it's $500 and we can get you in right now. Like, nah, man, I'm all right. Not to stand. Not if I don't have a table. I don't have a table. Nah,
that's not worth it. I understand that the career choices that certain people that are currently in this conversation have made allow them to have a quality of life. That's what's
500 to get into a place I don't have a table at is not a good choice ever.
No, it's not. No matter how
I don't care how much money you make it. Like $500 to stand, bro. Hell no.
It's not gonna happen. No, thank you. I agree. Maybe could you imagine if you pay $500 for bottle service but no table? They bring a bottle in a bucket and you got to sit there and hold it. I'd be so mad. So mad.
Oh man. Nah, but we'll hit it up next time we're out there. I don't know when we're gonna do there next. Since we moved the infamous not my bachelor party to St. Thomas this year.
It's gonna be epic.
And folks, this is one we're gonna definitely tell you guys about. So St. Thomas is celebrating its centennial throughout all of 2017. If you go from now, because this is after the month of March has started, that you'll be hearing this. If you go from March, for the entire month of March, there's like a special commemorative pen thing that you can get. But if you go at any point throughout 2017, all the way up to and through New Year's Eve / New Year's Day, there's some like amazing hotel deals, and they give you $300 to spend in like local locations on the island. So museums, local vendors, like local food vendors and whatnot as well, excursions, all that kind of stuff. So we were like, well, shit, let's go.
Yeah, let's go to St. Thomas.
Why not do New Year's Eve in St. Thomas? Like, it's gonna be cold everywhere else in the country. Like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well go to the island.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fantastic to be in St. Thomas. But that reminds me of something funny. One of my friends one time, this was a couple years ago, he goes, "Do they speak English in St. Thomas?" And the face that I gave this dude,
For real,
Like, what
like,
are you talking? Yes,
how are you this
this is Saint
stupid?
Hey, did you not like what? Like, yes, they speak English in St. Thomas.
Do they speak English in St. Thomas? Well, it's the U.S. Virgin
No.
Islands, so I'm gonna go with no, because I'm a dumbass. Like,
I like that. Can I get I'm gonna give you an answer that causes you to judge me, Alex, for 500. Like why say that?
suddenly you're like, I don't know if you should be around sharp objects. Bad things might
Yeah.
happen.
Like your spirit animal's name is Moon Moon. You're that one werewolf, your name is Moon Moon. Like that's what that means.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just crazy, man. But that's always one of those things, man. It's like, so people will surprise you with their stupidity at times. Um,
I'm telling you.
I was I was talking to somebody the other day. I was telling them, a situation that I had become aware of that just was just like, oh wow, you're a special kind of dumbass. So, all right, it's well known that certain people, definitely not myself, that's very much against my code, but there are certain people who, over the course of their relationships, have no problem cheating on their significant other.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain people who will at times make mistakes like say the other person's name while they're with the significant other.
Wow.
We've all heard that story before, where
Yeah, of course.
the guy says the wrong name, the girl says the wrong name, and just shit happens. I've never heard of this one though. For Valentine's Day, uh, someone who is not a friend of mine but is an associate of a friend, uh, accidentally had Amazon send the package to the side piece to the main piece.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Now, if you're in the audience right now and heard that and said, "Oh, that's bad," if you
Yeah,
don't know what this
that's
means, this is even funnier. So basically, folks, what happened is the guy is dating two women. To his girlfriend, his actual girlfriend, he sent the gift that he was sending to the woman he was having sex with on the side. Right address, wrong name.
wow.
For Valentine's
Wow.
Day. Because, of course, they both wanted something for Valentine's Day. And, of course, the smart thing would be to have Amazon deliver it. So if it doesn't get there on Valentine's Day, you say, like, baby, that was Amazon's fault. You know I ordered it. But
Yeah,
imagine.
that's a Darwin Award winning. That's a
But, but imagine you do that. And on accident, that gets sent. And you don't notice because you were a dumbass when you put the stuff in Amazon. Now imagine that the same day you go over there, completely unaware of your stupidity, to pick her up to go to dinner for Valentine's Day. Because
wow.
that's what happened. That's how my friend heard about the situation.
Wow. And your friend is still whoever this person is still alive.
Somehow, some way.
Wow.
Well, I was just like, so the gift got there. She let him come in. Like, I can only imagine what kind of ridiculousness really happened. Because, like, I imagine she let him come in the house and sit down and was playing nice and like, yeah, baby, ready to go to this dinner and do all this stuff. And she finally just like walks in with the package. I can just imagine her tossing it at him or some shit. Oh, oh man.
I imagine her not just tossing at him. I imagine her saying, "Oh, let me go get the gift that you bought me," and she got a butcher knife hidden behind her back, like waiting for him to. She's like, "Come here and give me a hug." Like,
Oh man, people are stupid. What can I tell you? Oh man, check it. So yeah, folks, if you're gonna send gifts, make sure you check the address and name you're sending
yeah,
it to.
please, please,
Oh,
please.
oh man, but no, there's a lot of cool stuff going down. I did want to get your thoughts on this though. And let me pull this back up. So we were talking earlier before we started about the Green Book,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't know about that. Let's kind of really, inform them real quick here. So the Green Book was essentially a book that was sold uh, to black people throughout, really from the 30s all the way until the 20s all the way until the late 60s, early 70s, and it was
Hmm.
for black motorists, and it was just places where you could, for certain, be able to get lodging or uh, get gas, things of that nature, where you wouldn't have to worry about the dangers of you know racism. And they were talking about how it became defunct fairly quickly after the Civil Rights Act was passed, but also really kind of ended up in the 70s. By then, it was just kind of it was just a normal traveler's guidebook. Um, and, and it's for me, it's kind of interesting that that book was still in major use when my mother was graduating from high school and
Yeah,
college.
that's great.
You
That's
know,
crazy.
it's like, man, because I want to say mom came up to Kansas City in '69. And actually, a student teaching in '67. Yeah, yeah. So it would have been like '67 or so. '68, 68, I guess. Yeah, she was. Yeah,
That's great. Yeah,
that like
that makes sense.
she was born in '47, and that was just a thing you did. You had the book with you at all times. Like, I know no matter where I'm going, I can stop here. And the book's creation and its kind of place in history has really kind of been forgotten a lot by this current generation because it's not necessary anymore. But to think that that was just I mean 67, you know like that's not that's 15 years before I was born.
Yeah, that's not even that long ago. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it was necessary. Like that was life or death. Like you had to have this thing. They said something like 15,000 copies sold annually.
Yeah, something like that. Like, wow, that's quite a few.
Yeah, and it's like because you gotta have it because that video we're watching, they're saying, hey, there wasn't a single place where black people could stay in the state of Utah.
Yeah, it was. They were carrying buckets and had to bring extra gas and food, and it was crazy.
Yeah, there are three places in the entire state of New Hampshire. So yeah,
That's crazy.
the next time somebody tells you the North wasn't fucking racist, call them a fucking liar.
Yeah,
New Hampshire,
yeah,
Bernie Sanders' country was racist as fuck. Like it wasn't just the South.
yeah. It wasn't just South at all. No.
Man, it's one of those things. We just come out of Black History Month, and it's like, yeah, man, there's stuff that this country still isn't even comfortable with dealing with, and that's part of the reason we have such problems now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but it's getting better as time goes along. Like I will stand by that. It is getting better, but it's a slow progression as things get better. So it's just like anything. It's just gonna take time, and eventually things will get better. But it's slow moving.
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, because we're gonna wrap up here in a couple minutes. Not gonna go too long. Won't keep you forever. So, all right, you got two options. You have to pick one of these. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And everybody's getting a different question, so don't worry. You won't. The same question will not be asked later on. But since you're
Mhm.
not in on the Founders Cast, which is going to get the relationship question, we're going to ask you relationship question. All right.
Okay.
So you can either date somebody who is boring or somebody who is stupid. Which one do you do?
Oh, this is dating.
Dating. You got to date them. Like they you either get the boring person or the stupid one.
That's tough. I'd rather be with a boring person.
Interesting.
What the main reason is because I'm out there and loud and ridiculous enough for 3 people, let alone myself for 2. So I could handle a boring person, but if they're stupid, like if you ask me, like what, like why do they call tuna chicken of the sea? Like we're gonna have issues. Or if you gotta ask me, like I gotta explain, simple stuff like uh, the black diaspora dysphoria in America, however you want to pronounce it, or something like that. If I gotta explain all that to you, or if we're watching a movie and you're like, why does this person do this, that 8 billion times? Yeah, I can't deal with that. But if you're boring or whatever, you like to sip milk and honey and be in bed by 8 p.m., I can deal with you. It's fine.
Okay. That's an interesting thought to go with. I tend to go the other way.
Really?
Yeah, because here's the thing: the boring person, there's not anything you can do to change being boring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm excited about something that's going on, you're going to be like the stick in the mud that is just boring in the situation. The stupid person is constantly impressed by learning something. And while they may be
They're
stupid,
also impressed by mosquitoes flying around.
it
Let's
doesn't
not
matter.
talk about
I know, and that's what's going to annoy me, but it's not the same as being boring. Like think about it. If the boring person contributes nothing, and that's what makes them boring, the stupid person is at least contributing. You know what I mean?
how are they contributing?
They're contributing because their lack of knowledge means that they are literally always growing by being around you. Like, yeah, maybe that's a little bit of my ego, but like the idea that like everything that goes on, everything they learn from me is impressive and changes their life in some fashion. And while according to this hypothetical, they'll never be as smart as me, so they can't be in a situation where they're not stupid because that's otherwise this breaks the whole point of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that still makes them constantly better, and it still makes the relationship more interesting. Because yeah, okay, so you had no idea that you know that the whole concept behind Superman is he's only smart. Excuse me, uh he's only understandable as Superman because he takes his glasses off. Fine, all right. Now I've taught you that, and so you're never gonna ask me about that again.
Mm-hmm.
The boring person's gonna be like, yeah, I know, it's the glasses thing, and it's just not that interesting to me. Well, that's a stick in the mud asshole. But the stupid person's like, oh, now I get it. It's like he's changing. It's like the thing you said before. He's changing to become Clark Kent to feed, our concept of what we think human beings are from a person who's not a human being.
You assume that dumb people would use the word concept.
But again, I've taught them. But I've taught her. I've taught her that thing. I am constantly in a state of teaching this person something. And I'm not saying that they're like learning disabled in any fashion. I just mean they're stupid. They don't think about stuff in a higher minded fashion. They're stupid.
I feel you.
Like Keisha Cole constantly dates dudes like Birdman and then says men ain't shit. You're stupid. Like, and I don't mean that she's not a nice person. I don't mean that she could be a great person. I have no idea. But, her music has fallen off, to me at least, from some of her earlier stuff. I liked her earlier stuff more. But, so I have no problem with her talent, or, her being a good, glowing person. But she's making incredibly stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Same way. So, would I take her over the person that's just entirely uninteresting and boring all the time? Hell yeah.
See, when you word it like that, it has me like, maybe.
I mean, I am a supervillain. Like, you're you are essentially always going to end up going like, damn it, he has a weird point, but he's got a point. Like, so don't take that as dispositive or anything. But that's just like that's my whole idea behind taking the stupid over the boring.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna like hate on it. I feel you. It makes sense.
I get yours too. Like, at least you know that they're not going to ever look at you like, I don't understand. It's like, to anything. Me, I would rather take that. I would rather have I don't understand. And they're like, you don't understand? Well, I can explain it. I would
Except
rather
when
have
this
that.
person sits there and asks you if they can microwave cereal, you're gonna be real mad. Like,
I'm gonna be annoyed in the moment. Like, no, you can't microwave cereal because of this, and this. But you can microwave some milk in a microwave safe thing and pour that on the cereal. And she'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then they'll do it. And I've changed her life.
yeah, I, I don't know, dog.
He is not willing to go with this.
Well, I can't do it. Like, bro, I dated. Okay. Real quick. One of my exes, and I'm not going to say who in case she listens to the podcast, she ended up, you know, those emails people get from the people in Nigeria that be like, send me money and I'll triple your money. Yeah, well, she definitely got a payday loan on her car to send these people money. And then when I had to break it to her that, hey, I'm a systems engineer and I'm here to tell you that no, that's not correct. That's not going to happen. She didn't believe me at first. And then when she lost all her money, she was found to be crying. So no, just no. I can't do it. I can't.
The benefit is that like I didn't give her money to do that shit, so I'm not gonna be mad. Like, oh, I guess you shouldn't have done that then, huh?
Yeah. Then when you end up having to give her rides everywhere, you're gonna be real sad.
I mean, do I? Do I have to?
Oh God!
Remember who you're talking to. Like,
true.
Half of this is me we're talking about. Like,
yeah, you're a supervillain, so you're different.
I have the right to be like, well, I guess you shouldn't have been stupid then, huh?
Exactly. See, with me, I'm the type to be like, well, let's figure out how to get you a bus pass then. You know?
I'll help you figure it out. I'm just not gonna pay for it.
We're gonna have to figure this out. I mean, it just is what it is. You gotta do your thing, but it is what it is.
So we're gonna leave it there, folks, and get on out of here. Justin, mate, it was great to have you back on again.
Pleasure.
Got anything coming up that folks can look out for you for?
Yes, so we will see what happens, but you can expect more works in the future, more literary works, as well as I'm working on several screenplays right now, but the main one should be out later this year, hopefully, if it gets bought. So we will see.
Awesome. There we go. Well, folks, for 314 Publishing and Imperial Dreams Productions, and of course, The Wrath of Ruthless and Words Don't Do It Justice, I am the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.